This is a study that goes back like hundreds of years. I think Benner first put this out back in the early part of the 19th century. I mean, that's how old this is. So interesting how the cycles basically are just as apt today as they were then. And you can see 23, C, what does C mean? Does C mean you're going to go be selling all your products that you bought cheaply at inflated prices and going and buying Lambos and exotic properties and islands and stuff? No. If anything, what C says is that you should be loaded up on cash and getting ready to buy. And when opportunity does come, you are ready, willing, and able to pull the trigger. Probably in this kind of environment, actually in that short that I was making reference to, I also talked a little bit about how it looks like crypto's probably, especially Bitcoin, probably very similar to the sort of 14, 15 cycle bottom. And that took a full year of just basically going sideways to ultimately put in a big fat sort of weekly or monthly W's and then start to move our way higher. And of course, as we, the rule is that we should start getting serious about Bitcoin rallies and stuff about 6 months prior to the halving event. So just keep that in the back of your mind. As I said, if you can put yourself into a position, I've said this repeatedly, I think pullbacks are buying opportunities. I think our dashboard here with all these 5s and 6s in crypto land is trying to speak to you as investors. I would make the argument that these assets are not shorts, but if they get too far too fast, maybe you just got to cool your jets a bit. Maybe wait for pullbacks before you start getting uber bullish. So in a weird sort of way, I've been telling everybody, on the Wednesday shows and stuff like that, I'm one of these guys, I eat my own cooking. So, you can see where Bitcoin price topped out. This was more than a 50% rally in 2-3 months? I mean, do assets normally go up 50% in 2 months? I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not going to comment too much about Bitcoin itself, but, there is a plan that I have in motion right now where I fully expect to load up on all of these ideas, down through the bottom part of our cycles, right? You can see how far down this thing is, right? All the way down here. I want to load up while we're down here, while we're in the Benner 23 year, thinking about selling into 2025 and early 2026. And so to that end, actually, I did some buying. Like this SUSHI, I mean, your comments about Mr. CZ and all that. I mean, take it for whatever it's worth. If you want to participate in the venture cap market, sometimes you're going to have names that just go off the board. It is what it is. But, I look at a chart like this, and keep in mind, this is a log scale. If I look at it on a regular scale, I mean, is it worth coming in there and buying like $1 worth of this thing? Thinking that, in 2025, 2026, we could, you probably could get a double just off of this rally. But just even down the road into next year, once the halving event comes, one thing I will definitely not do is take a bet against CZ. That he's outsmarted everybody, and until he goes under, I'd still say he still has a couple of cards to play in his wallet, or in his hand. Maybe this isn't the best fundamental story, but something like this RNDR, love this. This is exactly what I try and talk to you guys about. Pullbacks down into the bottom of the range here, I'll be more than happy to buy. And there were actually a couple names that into that dump there the past couple days I actually did buy. So I said I wanted to pick up a little bit of this guy off the bottom. I wasn't going to chase. I had a stink bid working at my BFF, my favorite fib. And I got filled there the other day. So I actually bought. And then I told you guys that I actually really like this LOOM idea. Somebody had mentioned it the other day. The other day it was sitting up here and I was like, well, I can't buy that. I just set an alert. This one was a little tricky because I don't really want to own BUSD. But I did go in and buy this when my alerts went off and said it was back down to BFF. Went and took some USDT, bought USDB, then went and bought the LOOM. And really what I should probably do is just get these coins completely off of Binance. But now I've started to accumulate this one. So just the simple message is that, yeah, this is not going to be the year that you're going to be banging out Lambos. I think this is a year of backfilling. And with regard to things like Bitcoin, you can see where Brian's BFFs are. So at 17,000, would I be okay with buying Bitcoin? Sure. Would I be okay if Bitcoin had to come down into 10 to 20,000 to buy some more? Yeah. It all depends really entirely on the plan, right? And so with regard to this little old lady plan, that's what I do, is I basically buy against the bottom ends of ranges, look to sell halves on doubles, and rinse and repeat. In fact, actually, there's one that's getting close to a second car. So we had one site member who gave us this great idea. I was able to sell half on a double, and now it's slowly working its way back down. So you can see here we bought. We're going to sell halves on doubles. You can see the shod order, and now it's working its way back down. And there's Brian's BFF, and I'll step right in and I'll buy my second car. So that's the type of backdrop that we're in. I don't think this is run for the hills. It's the end of the world. Oh, the sky's falling. Of course, the media is going to get you thinking that way. And I also saw, like I said, the media, of course, is now owned by the 1%. Does the 1% buy up markets or down markets? Please learn this, people.